What is up, guys? Aaron here, Curls in the Rack, and today's video we are going to be assembling this Rogue 3.0 bench. Yes, I do have one that's fully assembled right here, and yes, I do have one on the floor over here that's in pieces. And you're probably thinking to yourself, man, what is this guy, some sort of baller, and Rogue sends him all the stuff for free? No, I'm not Coop. This is not Garage Gym Reviews. I'm a lonely peasant, and what happened with this guy is the fact that when it was shipped to me, the packaging and the bolts and everything like exploded. It was as if they thrown it off a roof and just pieces were everywhere. So it was dinged, it was scratched, but I went ahead and put this one together so I could use it in the time that it took to ship the new one here. So figured I have the new one here. Took me a little bit longer to put this one together. There were some little things that were tricky about it, and if you're like me, reading on a piece of paper with an exploded diagram and figuring out which bolt is which is a little bit more difficult than actually watching somebody put it together. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this together in real time. I'll come in when there's something that needs to be explained, and hopefully it'll help you out. So let's get to it. All right, first of all, the tools that you're going to need for this are a 3/4 socket or wrench. I recommend both, or if you don't have any 3/4 wrenches, just get an adjustable wrench or 2 wrenches, whatever you have, just because you're going to need to be able to ratchet it down on one side and put something on the other side so it actually tightens the bolt on. Then the only reason you're going to need this Allen key is because we're going to need to put the pads on the seat and the pad on the back for your back. So anyways, that's all you're going to need. This is everything that it came with. And I will tell you this, having had the other one that came and it was exploded all over, I had no idea that these pieces, when I took it out, were already in here. Mind you, mine completely destroyed the hardware. It was everywhere, so I had no idea. These were supposed to be in here like this, and this was not sent like this the first time. I think that they have since realized that their packaging job on these benches was subpar, and I think they changed up a bunch of stuff, because I'll show you the boxes at the end. They have like pieces of hardwood to separate the hardware. Anyways, they took care to get this one here to me. Anyways, these were all put together, which was great. And let's see, the other piece is right here. So it clues you in to exactly what side of these it needs to go on, and which pieces. Because in the pictures over here, it's not really that self-explanatory. So anyways, let's get started building the bench. One thing that's great that I think Rogue realized right off the bat is that they, on the first go around when I got the hardware, didn't even have a box. It was in a plastic bag like this, and every single piece was in here. So you had to go through and find them. What they did on this guy, I'm going to call this the 3.1 bench, because there's a couple other things that they've done besides put those pieces on, and they actually gave me the foot pegs for that foot in the front there, which I didn't even know it had until I realized this one came with them, and I go, oh yeah, there's a spot over there missing those ones. Kit 1, Kit 2, Kit 3, Kit 4, Kit 5, Kit 6. So it's going to be a little bit easier to find exactly which bolts we need, because some of them are very close in length. You really have to have a tape measure to measure them. So I think they must have noticed that and went ahead and pre-packaged them, which is going to make this a lot easier. So I'm going to grab Kit 1, I will assume, for these guys. All right, step 1, and I was wrong. It's not Kit 1, it's Kit 4. We're going to attach these pieces together. The main frame is going to touch the floor, and they recommend going the other way and then putting the nuts on this side. But the hardware on these guys, which already comes pre-attached, is going this way. So I'm going to put the bolts the exact same way, just so I can have a, more aesthetically balanced, I guess. right, now I'm just going to hand tighten it a tiny bit. I can get out any of the last wiggles if there's any at the end, but I don't want to over tighten it and scratch into the metal paint, because that was another reason that I had to get the other one returned. Not that I did it, but it just came that way. So, and it was in the stainless steel too, so it was it was like, I upgraded and paid for that. I don't really want it scratched. So, all right, let's be good. All right, step 2, and it's kit 5. I don't know, yours could come labeled differently, who knows. But we're gonna put that back foot on, and it's gonna be from the outside, it's gonna be the bolt, washer on the outside, nut on the inside.
Come on, baby. There we go.
All right, step 3, we're gonna get these wheels on here. So it should be noted that inside this bag there are 4 spacers. The spacers go on this side of the wheel, like this, with the big flush piece on that, and then also on the other side, okay? So once you have that all lined up, you can take hardware kit number 6. Have the little bolts, and you want that rogue on the outside. Well, whatever your preference is, but I think it makes more sense to be able to see it. And ain't that a bitch? I lost one of the spacers down here. Let's see if I can. All right, let's see. Let's try again. Okay. See if I can drop this one right down in there on top of the bolt. Otherwise, come on, baby. All right, I got an idea. This guy on here. This guy on this side like this. Bam! Shit, it scratched. Gotta send it back now. Alright. That worked pretty well, actually, putting the bolt on the other side with the spacer on it and then just coming real fast through the other side so that way it didn't fall away. One down, one to go. All right, next up is the ladder portion. Now, it should be noted, there are 2 rods that look like this, and they're very similar in length. Number 9 is the longer of the 2. That is the one we want to use. Not number 10, we're going to use that later. It's going to go in between here, and that's what we want to do. So for this step, you basically just want to set it on top of here, right? So that way, you can put this guy on here so it sits there. Then you grab your bolts and you can get it on there without scratching anything up. And for this one, we're using hardware kit number 3. Alright, and next we're going to do the same exact thing we did back here with this ladder system for the ladder system for the seat. The R facing up. We're going to put it through here, and we're going to use that other number 10, the smaller of the two. And I'm going to go ahead and set it right in here the same way I did the other one. Grab my bolt. It's a really snug fit on this guy, so, but it will fit.
Come on, baby, get in the hole. There we go. Beautiful.
Alright, so step 6 is basically putting in the spacers in here, and in here, and in here. And this is kit number 1. I don't know why, but anyways, there we go. This one already came with them in there, so did this one, but we just need some for here, and go ahead and put those guys in. One fit fine. Let's see. Let's try a different one. There we go. Alright, cool. So I'm actually going to have to take this stuff off. I think it's just cluing me in on which one to use, since they look to be actually the same exact size, so we will see. Alright guys, the next step is putting the seat pad onto the seat base. And you'll notice that you have 4 of these little tiny Allen wrench screws. They're all the same, so just pick 2 of them. Best way I think is to flip this guy over. And there's the spacers that came in here, so make sure you don't lose those. So we'll need to put it back in when we're going to assemble this piece onto the bench. Now I'm just going to make sure this is super straight with the front of this, because there is a little bit of wiggle room. That way my bench doesn't come off all weird. Or the bench seat, I should say. And you got to get these super tight, or else it still has wiggle room. Bam! Alright. Put these guys back in here, and we'll go to the next step. Alright, so our next step is going to be getting the spine, or whatever you want to call this piece where you lay your back, onto here, as well as we are going to be attaching the seat at the exact same time. Now, make sure that your spacers are in here still correctly. You're going to flip the seat over like this. Spacers in here, spacers on this one, and then also we're going to need to get this guy up into place because it's going to go also on the outside. Probably be easier with 2 people on this one, but hey, I don't have 2 people, so we're going to go for it. Alright guys, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. And something I realized on this one is that partway down the line, I realized that the bench didn't go down flush. I'm sure you guys all saw it and you were laughing at me the whole time. This piece, when it goes on, can only go one way. I don't have my glasses on. I didn't even go over there to look at the other bench, which I could have. But this piece needs to be up like this, or else the bench will not go flat and the seat will be all ridiculous. So rather than through the magic of video editing try to save face, I'll just go ahead and admit I screwed up on this one and I need to turn it around. This looks better. See, this is why I'm here, for you to learn from my idiotic mistakes so you can do it perfect when you guys do it. Okay, so now that we're back to this step, who wants to see me struggle with this again? Okay, everybody? Great. Let's see if it's a little bit easier this time or if it's still going to be a pain in the ass. Oh no, much easier. See? There we go. All right, so at this point you should have 3 bolts left, right? You got 2 long ones and 1 short one. The short one is going to be the one you're going to use to attach the seat to the ladder system right here. So make sure you have 2 spacers on either side of this guy. Flip this down. Line it up. Man, the seat looks all greasy and sweaty. It's just from my hands. All Alright, the next step in this process is taking one of these guys and attaching the ladder system to here. Make sure your spacers are on the inside of this ladder system. Line it up. There we go. And it should be worth noting that it is a nylon nut on this bolt right here that attaches these, and also on the where it attaches the ladder system here. These are not the regular nuts. You're going to use the nylon nuts on those ones. Alright guys, final step. And for some reason I have an extra bolt here. I think maybe they oversent me the bolts, and I think it's the bolt that was in here. It was just a duplicate, so I got an extra one. Oh well. I also have some extra pieces here. So it's better to have more hardware than not enough. Anyways, we're going to put the back on. Now, the back, the way that you know the holes line up is you can guess or check, or you can go ahead and say if the label is down this way. I think that's how the other one was, and the holes should match up. And we're going to take our last two with our Allen wrench, tighten them up, make sure it's straight, and we should be good to go. All right, and you guys might have some adjustments to make on these bolts, either on the seat or on the back pad, if there's too much of a squish here or too much of a gap. So something to keep in mind. You can just loosen them, move it up a tiny bit, tighten them again. But this is basically it, all put together. It's a very, very beautiful bench, in my opinion. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe you didn't really enjoy it, but for those of you who purchased this bench and didn't want to have to read the instructions and rather watch somebody do it, that's really why I did it. It was kind of boring, but it's more of an instructional thing. If you haven't seen it, I have a comparison video between this bench and my old bench and the differences between them. So check that one out, and next time I'm going to have some more product reviews, and until then, peace.